It's entitled "The People of the City of Battle Creek versus Brian Peter Carson." Is that your name, sir?
That is correct.
All right, and Officer Belson is here on behalf of the City of Battle Creek. This is a informal hearing on a civil infraction citation. Officer Belson, is there anything before I begin?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Carson, you're here on a citation that alleges that on or about June 14th of 2025 over on M66 near East Columbia Avenue, because you got a citation for disregarding a traffic signal. If you were found responsible, all other things being equal, the court would assess $115 fines, costs, and fees, and the Secretary of State would put 3 points on your driving license or your driving record. Is that the citation that you thought you were here about, Mr. Carson?
I believe you're correct.
Okay, same question to you, Officer Belson.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Carson, whenever somebody receives a citation, they have three possible responses to it. The first possible response is to just admit responsibility, be assessed the fines and costs, and be done with it. The second possible response is to admit responsibility with an explanation, hoping that the explanation might cause the court to decrease the fines and costs a little bit. The court can't make the points go up or down because the court doesn't assess them, the Secretary of State does. The third option, which is the option I think you've chosen, is to deny responsibility and have your hearing. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, here's how the hearing works. It's a civil case. Just like every civil case, there's a plaintiff and a defendant. The plaintiff in this case is the people of the City of Battle Creek, represented by Officer Belson. Mr. Carson, you're the defendant because you're the person that was handed the citation. In a civil case, the plaintiff always has the burden of proof. That burden in a case like this is called by a preponderance of evidence, which means in clearer English that Officer Belson has the burden to show that it's more likely than not that you committed this infraction. So the way we do things is I'll put you both under oath at the same time, and then Officer Belson, who has the burden of proof, will present his case first. The presentation is informal, meaning we don't have thousands of rules of evidence to wade through, and we don't have attorneys objecting every 5 seconds. There really is only one rule, and that is that the court can only consider evidence or facts which are relevant. After Officer Belson presents his case, Mr. Carson, you get to present your case. Same exact rules apply to you. You can introduce whatever you want into evidence as long as it's relevant. After both sides have presented their cases, I'll render a decision. That decision can be appealed by either side within 7 days. Mr. Carson, if you were to appeal the decision, you would have to put up the fines, costs, and fees as a bond pending appeal. Do you have any questions about how we're going to do things today, Mr. Carson?
Yes, let's review the costs and the fines for the appeal, please.
Sure. If you were found responsible, all other things being equal, the court would assess $115 total fines, costs, and fees. Do you understand?
Yes, and how is that paid?
There's any number of different ways that can be paid. You can pay it online. You can pay it in person at the district court clerk's office. But the actual questions about that would be directed to the clerk's office.
Okay, fair enough. Let's proceed.
All right, very good. If you would both raise your right hands, Mr. Carson, I'll take your word for it. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Officer Belson?
I do.
And Mr. Carson?
I do.
Very good. Officer Belson, if you would begin, please.
Yes, sir. So on 6/14/2025, I was driving a patrol car northbound on M66 approaching the Columbia Ave exit intersection. I got off on the off-ramp and observed in front of me there was a SUV. It was the car that Mr. Carson was in. I was approaching the Columbia traffic light and it was red. Mr. Carson disregarded the traffic light, turned westbound onto Columbia. I activated my lights to go around a couple cars and stop traffic because it was still going on Columbia. Tried to get behind Mr. Carson in his Durango. He hopped back on southbound 66, and we drove quite a while before he ended up stopping, and that's the traffic stop.
Okay. So this is the northbound exit from 66 onto Columbia Avenue. Is that correct?
Correct, sir.
And there's a traffic signal there, a normal traffic light, if you will?
Correct.
And when you first observed the traffic light, was it red, yellow, or green?
Red.
And when you first observed the defendant, was he stopped or still moving, or?
When I was coming up behind him, so I was coming up, there was another car in front, and then Mr. Carson in front of that. He was 2 cars up. So I watched him slow down. I don't recall whether he came to a complete stop or kept rolling. If I remember correctly, he came to a complete stop and then kept going, turned westbound on Columbia when the light was still red.
So in effect, he made a left-hand turn onto Columbia during a red light. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Okay. Anything further?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Carson, could you hear Officer Belson's testimony?
I could.
Very good. Thank you for your patience, sir. What do I need to know?
I have some questions for Mr. Belson.
Well, I would ask them, but go ahead and let me know what you want me to ask.
So I'll ask you, and then you ask Officer Belson. First of all, is there a traffic camera recording?
A traffic camera? Is there a traffic camera recording, Officer Belson?
No, sir, but my patrol car was.
So there would be a dash cam recording available. Is that correct?
Yes, as soon as I activate my patrol car, it goes back 30 seconds, so it should have caught the infraction.
Correct. Is that still preserved, or was that,
It should
I don't
be.
know.
Yeah,
Some agencies, their files
they-
get deleted unless they're marked for preservation or something like that.
Nope, it was only about a month ago, so it should be there.
Okay. Mr. Carson, do you have any other questions you wish me to ask?
I do. May I have the legal description of a normal traffic light?
I don't know that there's a legal description. It's a colloquialism that I asked. But I guess, Officer Belson, I will ask you this. Was this a blinking red light? Is it a everyday traffic signal with 3 lights on it? Can you describe the traffic light?
It's the everyday traffic signal, not blinking. It goes red, then it turns green, then it goes yellow, then it goes red. No blinking at this time of day. It may turn blinking in the wee hours of the morning, but not during this time.
Okay. Approximately what time was the traffic stop? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Can I refer to my reports? Let me look.
Yep.
Here. About 5 p.m.
All right. Any other questions you want me to ask the officer, Mr. Carson?
Yes. Is this a temporary installed traffic signal, or is this a signal that's been there for more than 1 year?
Well, I can take judicial notice of this. I'm familiar with that intersection. That traffic light has been in existence for approximately 10 years or more. I became a magistrate in 2014. I believe that traffic signal was there during that time, but I will ask Officer Belson, is it a temporary traffic signal?
Not that I know of. It's been there as far as I can recall.
Very good. All right. Any other questions, Mr. Carson, that you want me to ask?
Yes. So with all the years that you've had in the patrol car, or as the magistrate can ask you directly, so I don't ask you in a direct way, are you both 100% sure that that light was not temporarily installed with the new construction that's on Columbia Avenue?
I will ask the officer, was there any other kind of traffic signal or traffic light that was there because of any kind of construction at that sort of intersection?
There is stuff on Columbia saying no left or northbound turning from Columbia to 66, but that traffic light has been there as long as I can recall. That light was not there added for the construction.
Mr. Carson, anything further?
Yes. Was that traffic light moved from the south side of the intersection as the vehicles exit Columbia Avenue to now the north side so that it was more visible? Has that been recently moved?
Has there been any movement of that traffic signal, Officer Belson?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. Mr. Carson?
How do we determine that?
Well, first of all, it would have to be relevant some way. How would you suggest it's relevant to whether you obeyed a traffic light or not?
It's relevant because it's moved position. It's in a new position.
Okay. That unless you're implying that you somehow get to disregard a moved position traffic light, it's not relevant to my determination about whether you stopped at a traffic light or not, is it?
That's not my comment, sir. I never made that.
Right. So that's why what I'm
Informative.
telling you is so relevance means a fact of consequence to the determination of the action. So if
Fully understand the definition of that.
well, good. So if the court is to determine whether or not you complied with the traffic signal, it wouldn't be relevant if the traffic signal had moved a week earlier, a year earlier, a couple days earlier. As long as the traffic signal is there and had a red light. Do you understand?
I hear your words.
Well, very good. That's why we have hearings. All right. Is there anything else you want me to ask the officer, Mr. Carson?
Officer Belson, or actually, I'm sorry, Magistrate, may I ask through you, if you'd ask the officer, what location did you first see the Durango pass through your field of vision?
I will ask him. His testimony was he was taking the exit ramp and he saw the Durango approximately 2 cars in front of him, or there was a car in front of the Durango. I can't remember which, but I will ask Officer Belson, when did you first observe that Durango?
When I was going northbound on M66 and we both got off on the ramp, that's the first time I saw him. I believe he asked when I lost view of him. That's when I activated my lights, stopped traffic, got around him. I lost view and he got on the southbound on-ramp on the 66 and I had to catch back up.
Okay. Does that answer your question, Mr. Carson?
No, not at all.
Well, that's why. Okay. Well, I guess what
Let me
more
rephrase
specifically
that,
were you
please.
asking?
So what location was Officer Belson located at when he first saw the Durango?
He said he was northbound on M66.
So again, well, I'd have to go through you, so I can't directly ask him. Were you in the median at the time on your patrol? Were you stationary on M66 for at least a short time?
Were you stationary when you were on patrol on M66, Officer Belson?
Yeah, I was stationary. I was getting ready to try and switch directions. So I was watching southbound traffic for an active call that was going on. That call ended up, nothing happened. I turned around and got back on northbound. If he drove by me when I was sitting stationary trying to get on the highway, I'm not sure. I wasn't paying attention at that time. I didn't have a reason for a stop.
So your testimony was the first time you observed him, your car was moving. Is that correct, Officer Belson, or incorrect?
That's correct. I mean, if he drove by me, that's fine, but I didn't take note of it. I had nothing to take note of when it drove by.
All right, Mr. Carson?
Okay. And then at what speed did you move from the stationary position up to the M66 intersection?
Do you know how fast you were going when you were northbound and getting toward the exit ramp?
No, normal speed. I mean, I'm sure I had to speed up rapidly to get up to 66 speed limit after I was stationary, but I wasn't going fast or anything.
Okay. Mr. Carson, anything further?
Yes. And so on the on the dash camera, will it show your speed from when you left your stationary position up to that stoplight?
Well, I'm not sure that that's relevant. How would that be relevant, Mr. Carson?
Then I'll ask a different way.
I'm sorry, Mr. Carson, your audio cut out a little bit. I heard in a different way, but I didn't hear anything before that. Sorry.
Sure. So my follow-up question is, if you're not going to ask Officer Belton that question, then another direct way would be is at the point that you activated the dash camera, what speed were you driving?
Again, how is that relevant, Mr. Carson?
Either answer the question or we continue.
First of all, you're not conducting the hearing. You probably shouldn't be giving direction to anyone. But my question to you is, listen to me carefully. How is it relevant? If the officer was doing uh, 55 miles an hour when he turned on his dash cam, or whether he was doing 25 miles an hour when he was turning on his dash cam, how does that make more probable or less probable the proposition that you did or did not stop at a red light?
Okay. Again, my apologies for, in your opinion, commanding this conversation. So that's not what I want to come across as. So
I understand.
Again, I ask for apologies.
No problem.
In my thought on the relevance would be is that I'm trying to determine the speed at which the officer exited the stationary position to observe me in the so-called running of or disobeying the traffic signal. I'm just trying to put together the parts. That's all it is, sir.
Right. No, I understand your efforts. I guess the question is I have to confine what I consider to evidence that's relevant. So I'm not understanding that if he was doing 2 miles an hour when he saw you at first or was turning around, or if he was doing 50 miles an hour and did a donut before he saw you, I don't understand how that would make more or less probable your alleged not stopping at a stoplight. So if he was going faster, does that make it more probable that you stopped at the stoplight?
I'm not going to answer that, but I understand where you're coming from. So we'll move on. The next question I have for you to him is it common for that type of, I have to use the correct words, for this type of charged civil infraction, for you to maneuver through traffic to secure the driver?
How does either answer, any answer to that question, increase or decrease the likelihood that you did or didn't stop at a traffic light?
Okay, fair enough. So where do we go from here, sir?
Well, I've asked, I think, all the questions that were relevant of the officer that you had. You have the chance to testify about what you did or didn't do that day, or you can choose not to. It's up to you. It's still your presentation.
Okay. So at this point, I deny responsibility and I move to a formal hearing, please.
Well, yeah, here's the idea. You don't get to move to a formal hearing during an informal hearing. The time to request a formal hearing. Yeah, it's okay. It's not like it's not a moral judgment. You're not a good person or bad person because of it. Basically, the procedure is we're at the informal hearing now. You have the choice to present evidence or to not present evidence. If you present evidence or if you choose not to, I'll make a decision. You can appeal that decision if you're unhappy with that decision, but it's not like during an informal hearing you can switch gears and all of a sudden request a formal hearing. Do you understand what the procedural options are?
Yes, now I do fully. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, once we begin the informal hearing, your choice about a formal hearing or an informal hearing has already been made. Does that make sense?
It does, yes.
Okay. So do you wish to present any evidence at this informal hearing other than, the questions that you've asked or that I've asked for you, if you will?
No, the only statement that I'd like to add to the court is, and for the officer, for you, sir, I'm sorry, not the officer, is that with my driving record, I don't know if that's taken into the court's decision at all.
I can't. That would be sort of polluting my mind. If you had the worst record in the world, I wouldn't want to know it because then I might be more likely to find you responsible based on things I can't consider. And if you had the perfect driving record, I can't consider that either because then I might unfairly decide that you wouldn't have done this or something. Does that make sense?
Enough said. Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Anything else you want me to consider, Mr. Carson?
No, sir. Not at this time.
All right. Well, I've listened very carefully to testimony. The Officer Belson testified that on June 14th, 2025 at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, he was, ultimately the testimony was he was stationary at one point observing southbound M66 traffic near the Columbia interchange. He decided that he wanted to come back around and face the other direction. So at some point he began being northbound on M66 and he was taking the Columbia, or he observed a white Durango driven by Mr. Carson. as he was at the exit ramp from M66 northbound onto Columbia. There is a traffic light at the end of that exit ramp, if you will, that regulates the traffic between the exit ramp and Columbia Avenue. Officer Belson indicated that the first time he saw the traffic light, it was red, and he observed that white Durango driven by Mr. Carson take a left-hand turn while that traffic light was red. It wasn't a blinking light. It wasn't a blinking yellow or a blinking red light. And at that time of day, it had the normal sort of average operation of the everyday traffic light, which has 3 colors on it and was proceeding in the cycle as he testified. Mr. Carson asked some questions. The testimony that was elicited from Mr. Carson's questions, among other things, were that there should, although we don't know for sure, be mobile video recording or dash cam footage of what Officer Belson's camera observed. It wasn't introduced as evidence at this hearing. And Mr. Carson also elicited some information about Officer Belson's, whether he was stationary that day and that kind of thing. Mr. Carson chose not to present any additional evidence other than the answers to the questions that were provided, or in accordance with the rulings of the court about what would and what wouldn't be relevant in terms of Officer Belson's speed of his vehicle and that kind of thing. Given the testimony, I am convinced that it's more likely than not that Mr. Carson took a left turn on a red light, which is not allowable at that intersection. So I'm going to find you responsible, Mr. Carson. I'm going to assess the $115. I have to ask this question this way. Are you able to have that paid? I mean, if you appeal it, you have to do that. You have to, put up the bond within 7 days. But if you were to not appeal it, can it be paid before August 15th of this year?
Yes, sir.
All right. So what I'm going to do is type up a judgment indicating I found you responsible after the hearing and that you'll have to pay $115 by August 15th of 2025. That judgment will be mailed out. It'll go out on Monday to the address on South Lincoln. Is that still correct?
That is correct.
All right. So you should have a copy of that certainly by the end of next week. If you do wish to appeal it, you'd have to file the appeal form within 7 days from today. So you might have to file the appeal before you get the judgment in the mail, but you could always come down to the courthouse and get a copy of the judgment quicker than it will happen through the mail. Does that make sense to you, Mr. Carson?
Yes, sir.
All right. I want to thank you both for your time and patience. Mr. Carson, you are all set for today. Have a good day.